Preparations are underway for our shrub gallon planting program for 2025. Hi, I'm Heidi from Garden Crossings. In today's video, we're going to take you through the whole process from receiving our quart-sized shrubs to getting them prepped and ready to be planted into gallons. Some of you prefer the quart-sized shrubs because they're smaller, they're easier to plant, and depending on what you're planting into, it's just more manageable to dig that smaller size hole. But for others of you, you're looking for a landscape ready shrub, and that's where our gallon or our 8-inch pot comes into play, is with these beautiful landscape ready shrubs. So let's head out and see the team in action. The semi just got unloaded with 25 racks of proven winter shrubs. These are the first shipment we're getting for the gallons that we'll be planting up later on in the week. We plant them up usually the beginning of August or so, and then we'll start selling them in the spring of 2025. So we've got about 12,000 or so shrubs today, and we've got another shipment coming on later in the week. So the team is going to be very busy once they're done shipping for the day, getting out to the greenhouse and getting all of these shrubs planted. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of what we've got. Arborvitaes. This here is Anna's Magic Ball. This is a super popular variety. Many of you have requested and have planted this particular variety in your garden. This is how they start off, just these cute little small shrubs that will grow into the full-size gallons by next spring. Bloomerang Lilacs, another popular variety. This is how they come in the 1 quart size containers. And when the team gets them, they're going to remove all this rice hull and get these planted. And we'll hope to get some video of that later on in the week for you to show you how the planting process goes as well. It's so neat when you see some of these identifiable shrubs just based off the foliage. You don't even know, what exact variety is. But here I can tell you this is a blue holly with its evergreen foliage. There's a sticker on it. So this one is Castle Spire. So this is going to get the beautiful berries on it in the winter. Hydrangeas. Everyone's favorite are the hydrangeas. And these, Tough Stuff Aha. Look at that beautiful plant. So at Spring Meadow, they are constantly trimming their quart shrubs as well because they want to promote branching. More branching means a thicker, fuller plant once it gets in your garden. And we do that at Garden Crossings as well. We are always trimming on our plants because the more trimming we do here in the greenhouse, the more branching it has and the fuller it is once it gets to your garden. Because we know most of the time, once these shrubs especially get in your garden, you're kind of afraid to trim them. Now there's some of you that know that you can trim a shrub and it will do great, but others just don't know how to trim it or when to trim it. So that's why we come through and do a lot of the trimming before it even gets to your garden. And this is a good point. If you have any shrubs and you're just not sure when or how to trim them, please ask us. We're here to let you know and to help you because we want you to be successful in your gardens. So if you have any questions about what to do with your plants, be it a shrub, an annual, or perennial, don't hesitate to reach out. We're here and we want to make sure, like I said, that you will be successful with your garden and landscape.
This week you're going to have lilacs, forsythia, everything like that.
Bobo. We talk about Bobo a lot here at Garden Crossings in our landscape, and this is how Bobo comes in. Just a nice little plant. Usually they're about 4 inches tall, and this is what a 4-inch tall shrub looks like. Nice full canopy here, and this is going to continue to fill out and be beautiful once it gets into your garden. We even have a little pretty here. This is a Rose of Sharon. Oh, the flower's trying to bloom. Not a very nice flower, but it is always neat when we see a few little blooms that come in here on these shrubs. We have Alyssa and Rod here. They're checking out the shipment and just looking at all of the plants, making sure everything looks good. Alyssa's going to actually go through every single rack that we have here to make for sure that these plants all come in clean. She's looking for bugs, which usually is not the case. These plants usually come in very clean. But if there happens to be any bugs on any of these plants or any issues, we want to make for sure that we're catching it here at this point before we get the plants all planted out in the greenhouse, because now it's a controlled area, and if something needs to be done, she can take care of it here at this point. So It's a big job for her today. She's got a lot of plants that she's going to be inspecting, and it's important for us here at Garden Crossings to make for sure that all of these plants do get inspected before they go in the greenhouses and get shipped out to your home gardens. We're almost making our way through, and it looks like here we've got some euonymus. This is the white album. So this is a good example. So when this comes into us, it looks a little bit, you know, misshapen and not nice. So before this is going to get planted, the team is going to go through and trim off any kind of wiry or weird branches. They want to make for sure it's got a nice tight habit before it gets planted. So they're going to go ahead and trim it. So here's one that's been trimmed by Spring Meadow. This one also has been trimmed, but this one here, obviously, this is a newer batch, this is an older batch, so we'll need to do some trimming on this to get it looking nice and tight again. We spend a lot of time, a lot of effort with our shrubs to get them looking just perfect for you when they get to your gardens. So we hope that you can appreciate all the work that we put in here at Garden Crossings. Last week the team was getting all of the gallon pots stickered and the tags all put together so that this week when they're planting, they can have the pots all ready, the tags all ready, and they can just really have a nice system going with the assembly line of planting. Our goal is to get all of these plants and the shipment that's coming in later in the week planted hopefully in 4 days. We'll see how that goes, but that is the goal for this week, is to get all these planted in about 4 days. So let's go ahead and take a look at more of the process. So not only were the plants being prepped, we also have to get the plant tags prepped. So all of our gallons are on a plastic hang tag type of a contraption that will get snapped into the gallon pots out in the shipping area. So it takes a little bit of time to get this onto this little contraption here on the end, because obviously if you have a tag, you don't want it to blow off in the breeze. So this is a nice gripping system that holds the tag right in place. So these gals here have been working for the last little bit getting all of these tags put on the stakes. So let's head out to the planting area and see what they've got going on out there. Earlier in the week we went through and got all of our gallons labeled. So every pot has a specific barcode label to the plant that's going on it, along with the week that this plant was planted. Now for the gallons, let's see here. It also says on here if it needs to go in a cool or a warm greenhouse, and we'll use that information more for this winter going into spring, so we know if the plant has to be kept cold because it's more of a spring bloomer, or warm because it's a plant that just takes a little bit longer to come out of dormancy. So these are all stickered and ready to get planted up. So one thing that we have found to be an absolute time saver for us was 2 years ago, we implemented these 2 potting machines. These are from the Stilt Pro company, and these have made this process go significantly faster than what we had ever done before. So basically what these machines do is they are dispensing soil into the pots, and any excess soil just kind of gets recycled back through into the machine. So she's taken the plant, she kind of puts it in the pot and lets the soil fill in around it, and then gets it all packed in there nice and tight, and they get sent down here, the conveyor systems, where they'll then get the tag put on them and they'll head out to the greenhouse. One thing we found with this whole planting system or potting system is when you've got 2 teams working together, there's a semi-competition going on as to who can get the most plants planted in a day. So that really does help with production, because they're kind of going against each other and wanting to hit their number and be the higher number of the 2 for the day. So you can see this is a different variety going down the line. These are probably the Arborvitae Stings or Thin Man. I think they're actually stings. So as they're going down the line, the clips with the tags are getting snapped into the pot, and it's very secure. It doesn't come out. So that's really, really nice. So we don't have to worry about tags ending up all over in the greenhouse. So you can see it's just continually pushing these things out, and our goal is still hopefully to have everything planted within 4 days. We'll see how that goes. The temperature is a little cooler today, so that definitely helps with their productivity, just because they're not sweating so bad. So they'll say, Heidi, we're hot, which they are, because they're working very hard. But just the fact that the temperature is cooler today, there's not as much humidity, it keeps their motivation up, and I think their stamina stays up longer too, just because they're not hot and feeling gross. So they're doing a great job, and we're gonna head out to the greenhouse now and show you the setting down process of everything that's been planted this far. Are all planted up, they get brought out here to the greenhouses where they then get set down for kind of their temporary growing places. So we'll leave them here through the winter, and then in the spring when things start to kind of wake up a little bit, they're going to get transferred into their more permanent spring and summer home. But this time of year they get placed fairly tight. You can see there's not a lot of space between the shrubs. Most of the energy at this point in the season is going to be in the roots, getting the roots established, so they're not going to put on a lot of top growth, so we don't need to have the spacing like we would if we're actively growing the tops. So definitely a lot of bending and handing, and I don't know, by the end of the day I'm sure Emily's back is just screaming at her. Yeah. But I think she chooses to do this. Yeah, so she doesn't she does enjoy the setting down process. So her and Logan are working together, good team, and so far they've gotten all of these set down just in today. So they're making very good ground, in addition to everything else that the whole rest of the team has been doing in all of the steps of the process of getting our gallon shrubs ready. And now they are officially in production now that they're planted and setting on the ground. If you have any questions or comments about what we do or how this is done, in addition to what you've seen in the video, feel free to leave comments below. I'm sure Logan and Emily and the whole team would like a little applause, so go ahead and leave that below too. We'll make sure we show that to them. And if you're new to our channel, we welcome you to subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'm Heidi from Garden Crossings.